All right, let's be honest. You're not getting the things done that you want to get done. But what if I told you the problem isn't that you're lazy or that you lack motivation? What if the problem is something much, much deeper? What if it's your own biology working against you?
Really let that sink in for a second. Your brain hasn't just been distracted, it's been actively compromised. Every single notification, every endless scroll, it's all been physically rewiring your brain for constant distraction. You're not failing. You're fighting a war against your own hijacked reward system. Okay, so what does being hijacked actually mean? Well, it all boils down to one powerful little chemical, dopamine. And it's not just about feeling good. See, there's this process called neuroplasticity, which means your brain physically changes based on your habits. And right now, your daily habits have rewired your brain to make focusing on what's important nearly impossible.
Think of it like this. Imagine your dopamine baseline is the volume in a library. It's naturally set very low. But every time you check your phone, scroll social media, or play a game, you're cranking that volume knob all the way up. To protect itself from the noise, your brain starts to turn down its own sensitivity. And the result? The quiet, focused work you need to do starts to feel, well, almost physically painful.
And this is where the vicious cycle kicks in. You chase a quick dopamine hit, which raises your baseline. Your brain fights back, making you less sensitive. So now you need an even bigger, juicier stimulus just to feel normal. And that important, deep work, it feels completely out of reach. We call this the hedonic treadmill. You're running faster and faster, but you're not actually going anywhere. So, does this sound familiar? You sit down at your computer, ready to work, and 8 hours later, you look up and you've maybe done 1 hour of real, actual work. That's not a character flaw, it's not a moral failing, it is the direct, predictable result of living with a brain that has been coded day after day for distraction. In this world, we all face a fundamental choice. There are really only two paths you can walk down, a choice that ultimately defines who you become. So are you a drifter or are you an architect? The drifter, well, they wake up and the first thing they do is grab their phone, instantly hijacking their dopamine for the day. They spend their hours just reacting, a slave to the algorithm, and then wonder why their big goals never seem to get any closer. But the architect, they play a different game entirely. They don't react, they build systems. They treat their attention like it's their most valuable asset. They own the machine instead of letting the machine own them. And the space between those two lives? That's what we call the power gap. And listen, this is crucial. It's not a gap in intelligence. It's not about who works harder. It's a biological gap, a physical difference in your brain's chemical baseline. You can't just cross it with more willpower. You need a full factory reset. How many times have you had that Sunday night conversation with yourself? Okay, this week, this is the week I finally get it together. You mean it too. But then Monday morning comes, the silence is just too much. You reach for your phone for just a second, and then you blink and it's Friday. Another week just gone, raptured by the algorithm. Okay, so if you are tired of living in that cycle, you don't need another vague resolution. You need a protocol, a repeatable step-by-step framework to reset your brain and cross that power gap for good. So let's get into it. It all starts with one single number, 24. And this isn't just a number, it's a commitment. It is the first, the most difficult, and by far the most important step in this entire process of taking your brain back. So here's the framework. Step 1 is the 24-hour blackout. This is non-negotiable. I'm talking zero artificial input. No screens, no music, no podcasts, no noise. You just sit with your own thoughts and let your dopamine receptors finally reset. Then, step 2, you rebuild your input. You swap out passive, endless consumption with active, deep research. You become an investigator. And finally, step 3, the big one, you shift from a consumer to a producer. You start building, creating, shipping immediately. This is how you actually rewire your brain for success. And here's the best part. That producer step has literally never been easier. The tools are right there, and many of them are free. You can use Notebook LM for research to find amazing ideas, ChatGPT to help you script, 11 Labs for a voiceover that sounds incredible, and CapCut to edit it all together. The old barriers to entry, they're just gone. So here's the bottom line. You now have this system. You have access to the tools. The only variable left in this whole equation is you. This isn't about one heroic effort, one perfect day. It's about consistency.
That is the only way to truly hack your brain for long-term success.
So it all comes down to this moment, right now. You understand the science. You've seen the two paths laid out in front of you. You have the framework. The choice is now yours. Will you continue to be the drifter, or are you ready to become the architect? What's your first move?